Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to this Extreme Warfare Revenge series. My name is Andy, the uncommentator for episode... I really need to check this before I start recording 36, I think, or 37. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What does matter is what is going to be taking place in this episode, and it's going to be the same as always. We're going to be recording the next two shows, so it's the next episode of Warfare and the next episode of Outrage as we continue our build towards our big December event, Holiday, on the 28th of this month. Speaking of this month, I'm recording this on the 20th of this month, so 5 days to go before the big ho-ho at the time of recording. You can see there, though, I'm on the 8th of December in the game, so by the end of this video, I'll obviously be on the 15th, so we are going to try and catch up before the end of the year. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to try and get this series done in the year of our Lord 2024. That was kind of the plan. Maybe New Year's Day, upload the last video of the series. I don't know. Anyway, let's not worry too much about that. Let's instead get on with it, because if I keep banging on, we're never going to get to the end of the year. What I do want to do, though, in this video, I want to hopefully bang this one out in half an hour. So let's see if we can do that. Now, before we do progress time, let's just have a quick recap of where we finished up at the end of the last video. So that was the last episode of Outrage that was booked. So we put Shanna and Mia Yim. We booked that one. The Mighty retained the tag team title, so Shanna and Mia Yim was going to take place in this episode, and then the Stunning Succuban once again exerted their numerical dominance over Paige and Deonna Purrazzo. So speaking of Paige, so those were the main happenings. Speaking of Paige, I've now hired her to a permanent contract. So she was on the open contract, so she was also wrestling for Shimmer and I think it was House of Hardcore or CZW, something like that. Anyway, I've signed her to an exclusive contract, so now there's no chance of anybody else signing her, because I actually quite like her on this game, so I think she's pretty good. Anywho, let's get on with it. That was then. This is now. So that's the only thing I've done between recordings that may be of any interest. Right, so we're moving from Sunday to Monday, so of course a promotion will change size. I'm also expecting Shimmer and House of Hardcore to replace Paige. So yeah, APW have risen to national level, so not what I was expecting. I was expecting someone to either raise to national level, regional level. So I was either expecting somebody to become national or drop down from national to cult, but that hasn't happened. AAA Saturday has been renewed. Bethany Bowie's gone to House of Hardcore, so that's replacing Paige. And Georgian Pring has gone to Shimmer. Now, they both sound like newly generated wrestlers. So, fair enough. So we'll crack on. So, I'm assuming APW are going to make... Oh, we've got an incident. I'm assuming APW are going to make some signings to replace... now they've got bigger, I should say. Let's just see what the incident is, though. Bandito's becoming increasingly difficult to work with. Well, that's not very good. Well, given I've got him booked this week, I might ignore that. Because I do actually need him... yeah. I'd normally suspend, but because I've actually got him booked and I need him, we'll just ignore that. It won't make any difference, to be honest with you. Right, so APW have signed Kazushi Sakuraba. They've signed Mike Kanellis. They've signed Ayako Hamada. They've signed Sami Callahan. So a wide array of talents there, with differing styles. Not a lot of emails. Normally you get quite a few hirings and firings. Particularly hirings, but doesn't seem to be happening here. Okay, well, we're already at the Warfare taping on the 12th of December, so let's get on with it. And we're going to kick things off by setting up the main event. So we're going to kick in with a manager angle. And it's going to be manager asks work to the client match accepted. So it's going to be Catarina asking Paige if she wants a title shot. And of course, she is going to say yes. So Catarina offering Paige a title shot, which will surprise people, but that's where we're going. We're going to move from that straight into a match. So this little TV feud that I've got going on continues. it's going to be Triton. I think this is the last of the singles matches I need to do. It's going to be Triton taking on Flash Morgan Webster. So we've had Mandrews versus Triton, we've had Mandrews versus Trey Miguel, we've had Flash Morgan Webster versus Trey Miguel, and now we've got Flash Morgan Webster versus Triton. So Morgan and Mandrews and the Skyriders will all have faced off in all possible singles matches, and Mandrews lost both his singles matches. However, Flash Morgan Webster is going to win them both. So he beat Trey Miguel by cheating. This time he's going to win because Mark Andrews gives him a cheeky little assist. So the heels are using nefarious, that seems to be the word of the day nowadays. That's the conglomeration, they might tell you. Yeah, so they seem to be using nefarious tactics. They're going to win. We'll have Trey Miguel save, why not? And that's to build up to the blow-off tag team match that's going to be taking place in the not-too-distant future. Back to the angles. So it's going to be a backstage ambush. So it's going to be Drew Gulak and Dominik Dijakovic assaulting Keith Lee. So we'd have probably Gulak and Lee getting into an argument. They start brawling, then Dijakovic would come in from behind and make it a 2-on-1, and then that would obviously give them the advantage. So do it in a heelish way. Next up, the reason why I didn't suspend Bandido, because we're going to book him in this match. He's going to be taking on Josh Wolf then. He's going to be taking on Josh Barnett. And he's going to win this match, and there's a good reason for that. So I need to just heat him up a little bit, ready for the next thing I need him to do. Yeah, no purpose for that, well there is a purpose, but heat him up for the next thing I need him to do isn't one of the options on the drop down, so we're just going to leave it. And we're also going to continue, I should have mentioned this in the recap, so Eli Drake has recently been stalked. It's another angle, isn't it? Yeah. I'm trying to avoid saying so we're going to keep the counter down if we can. I feel like I say it too much. Anywho, so what is it? Worker. I miss you, stalk. Here we go. The worker is stalked. Yep. Which is Eli Drake. So if you remember in the last two shows, so the first one we had when the shadow kept appearing on the wall. Then we had the one where the door opened, and when Eli Drake went to the door, the room was empty. So for this one, we do something like, I don't know, maybe the camera, you'd see the shadow on the wall. Drake would stop, he'd talk to the person off the camera would pan across, the person would be stood there. But obviously you won't be able to tell who it was, they'd just be dressed all in black. The camera would pan back to Drake, he'd run across to where the shadowy figure was, and then he wouldn't be there, or something like that. I don't know. So just something different to what we've done already. Not quite sure. Anyway, so again, building that one up. Moving on from that to just a random. I need to book 11. I like to book 11 segments, so let's just do this. One of those sorts of segments. To be fair, most of this booking, I do. Another room. I have tried to. I have tried to basically not have superfluous segments, but this is kind of one of them. Well, I say it is. This is more of a recap of the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team title match, I would say. I mean, I've put it as a hype video for the Mighty, but obviously they won that match. And now they're still the Tag Team Champions. But yeah, that would essentially be a recap of that, just to remind people of that Fatal 4-Way Tag Team title match. And now we're going to have, well, there would have been 8 people in that match. There's going to be 6 people in this match, because it's going to be a 6-man tag. The team of Orange Cassidy and the newly minted Ninjas of Virtue, which is Octagon and Great Sasuke, taking on the Iron Fist, Alexander Wolf, Killian Dane, and Kongo Kong. Basically, the story of this match is in the last show, Ninjas of Virtue debuted, Octagon and Sasuke. They lost to the Totem Towers because Kongo Kong interfered. So now it's going to be a 6-person tag. And they've recruited Orange Cassidy to be their third ninja. But they're still going to lose. We'll have Kong pinning Sasuke, because why not? And we'll go clean, even though they're heels. You don't have a lot of options with six-person tags. So we're going to do the one segment leads to another here. So I'll just book it and then I'll explain what would go on. I've got a bad feeling about this segment, but oh well. Right, so Mick Foley offers Orange Cassidy a tag team. So, like I said, this would be one segment. This would kind of be all in one segment. So as that match as the previous match would have ended, Iron Fists walk away. As Octagon and Sasuke and Cassidy get to their feet, Foley's music hits. He'd walk to the ring, and he just says something like, "Hey, you know, Cassidy, I've seen you. You've had a crazy year. You know, you've teamed with Hulk Hogan. You've retired Ric Flair. You've done all this crazy stuff, but it seems you've had world title shots, but it seems at the minute you're just teaming with random people, and you're coming up short. Well, I think it's because you just need the right teammate. So I want to offer you, you know, I want to give you the opportunity. I want to team with Orange Cassidy, and we'll try and together I think we can win the tag team titles." So that's kind of all in. So those last three segments are kind of all in one. You've got the reminder of who the tag champs are. You've got the tag team match, and then you've got Foley offering Cassidy the tag team. So I think I mentioned this in the last video. There was a reason why Orange Cassidy was randomly getting put in tag team matches and losing them. He was losing them so Foley could basically say, "You need the right partner, and it's me. I'll get you out of the rut that you're in," sort of thing. You get the idea. Anywho, next up, the match that was something else that was mentioned in the last video. The match I incorrectly booked for the pay-per-view. It's not going to be the pay-per-view match. It's going to be happening right about now. And it's going to be Shanna taking on Mia Yim. So Mr. Loverman Shanna versus Mia Yim. Of course, Shanna's a woman, so that joke kind of didn't really work. And Mia Yim is going to win, and I'm going to give her a clean win, even though, again, she's a heel. So, again, the Mia Yim revenge tour. So, if that's a trampling on Liv Morgan's trademark, continues. So, she gets her win back over Mia Yim. So, she's got Nicole Matthews back for beating her. She's now got Shanna back for beating her. This story is going somewhere, I promise you. Next up, we're going to have an authority angle, and it's going to be a mixed purpose for this match. Kind of two feuds again crossing the stream. So 2-on-2 for the next show. So Excalibur decides that it's going to be Pac and Real One Enzo Amore in brackets taking on Mark Haskins, the terrible face turn that happened last week, and Chris Sabin. So this serves two purposes. This will annoy Super Dragon, because Excalibur's putting Real One in matches, because Real One is now a manager. He's now Pac's manager. Enzo Amore in brackets, need to mention that. Yeah, he's now Pac's manager, so now he's been put in a match, he won't be happy. And of course, it continues the feud between Pac, Mark Haskins, and Chris Sabin. That's kind of been going on a little bit as well. And then the big main event that was booked earlier is going to be Paige challenging Io Shirai for the Women's Championship. And I'm going to see if I can book a draw and still book the ending I want to do, because I don't really want to... If not, we'll have to have Io winning. So no contest or interference, which is going to be from Asuka. Yeah, can't have another run. I didn't think I could. Right, so we're going to have to book Io to win, but it doesn't really matter. I'll explain what's going on here. Io by interference from Asuka. And then the aftermath is the most important thing. It's going to be running for the save, and it's going to be from a returning Zelina Vega. So if you're a long-term viewer of the series, you'll know that Zelina Vega was briefly in the company a few months ago. We did a kayfabe injury angle with the stunning Sukeban, like we did with Paige, and now she's back. So I think you can see where this is going, hopefully. So Zelina Vega has returned to save Paige. So what would happen here? Essentially the match, I mean, I don't want to like basically say, oh well, here's a women's title match, but not really. So I wouldn't have them wrestle very long. I wouldn't give them like 15 minutes and then Asuka runs in. It'd be pretty much, you know, the bell would ring. So the two would square off, the bell would ring, and then pretty much straight away, Catarina gets on the apron, gets distracted, you know, Paige gets distracted, and then she, you know, snaps her fingers pretty much straight away. Asuka runs in, the match never really starts. Kairi runs in, Deonna runs in, you know, so they're getting outnumbered, and then Zelina Vega's music hits. Hopefully everyone would pop for that, and then she runs in, and even though she's small. So Zelina Vega running wild doesn't kind of work as a visual, but she runs in and runs wild. And yeah, Zelina Vega clears house, and Paige, Zelina and Deonna stand tall, and yeah, the numbers are now more even. Obviously there's still 4 people that stood in Sukeban, but one's Catarina who's the manager, so she doesn't really count, if that makes any sense. So we'll get the purpose to re-debut Zelina Vega. So yeah, so the point here is, you know, again, the numbers are getting even. You can see where this is going, hopefully. Right, let's start the show. Oh, that was good. In fact, that was excellent. I feel like Catarina, I mean, she's quite over, but I feel like she should be more over than she is. So that's good. So I'm just distracted myself here. I'm just had an idea for the next show, just making a note of it before I forget it. Anyway, move on. Good, excellent. Flash Morgan needs to gain over this. I think his contract's coming up, but I'm not sure if I'm going to renew it yet. I haven't decided. Guess we'll. This feud's kind of the make or break. Yep, that was rubbish. I knew it was going to be, but they didn't lose overness, which is the main thing. Cool. Fantastic. Video plays for the mighty. Yep, that's fine. Right, I've got a feeling Foley's going to lose overness here, but hopefully not. No, he hasn't. Good, perfect. You know, I was hoping that was going to be a little bit better. Shannon's stats aren't very good, though. I've said that before. And stats are not very good, but the matches don't seem to be that bad, which is curious. More lost overness for Mark Haskins. Yeah, his overness is absolutely nosedived. Okay, Zelina Vega needs a new gimmick. We'll sort that out after the episode. I'll change it. I'll change it later. But Paige lost an overness point. EO gained an overness point. That's interesting. Cool. That was fine. Mark Haskins has just been ruined by this botched face turn, but hey ho. Let's have a look. Yeah, now 46 over. So the other thing as well with the botched face turn, he's now a tweener, which I feel like once I saw that, I have had that happen before, where a turn hasn't worked, and instead of going from face to heel or vice versa, they've just become a tweener. So I've kind of ruined it. I mean, I did have something planned, which I'm still going to follow through on, but it's not quite going to hit as much as I would have liked. So his gimmick's now grunge, so basically he just, you know, he kind of looks a bit grungy, does he? Long hair and a beard and that, so that's the gimmick. 1,200 people! So we've gone from getting under 1,000, so like 900, no, we've had like high 900, so 950 plus. We've gone from that to 1,200, so we've gained like 200, over 200 fans just from that. I wonder if that advertising's finally kicking in. Our public image has somehow gone up to 20%, I'm not quite sure how. But I ain't complaining. You probably should be, given that you're saving Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster's career. I can't believe that. We're easily the third best promotion. Let's just have a quick look at Impact. What's Impact's? Yeah, 12%. So, okay, I say easily. A little bit. Cool. That's fun. That is fun. Right, we're on to the 14th, the same night as Saturday night's main event in real life, of course. Something I intended to watch and then didn't. Because I got into my head that it was on the network. So I went to the network and it wasn't there. So I just assumed that for some reason I couldn't watch it in England. And then once I'd seen what had happened, I realised that I found out that, oh, it was actually on YouTube. So that was a little bit annoying. But hey ho, I don't think I missed anything. I pretty much guaranteed there were never going to be any. There was going to be no title changes. That was kind of obvious. So my little heart would have been broken watching Io lose to who she lost to. Because yeah, I'm not a fan of Ms. Morgan. I've said. Although to be fair, I think in her defence, when I say I'm not a fan of her, I think it's genuine heel heat. Like she's absolutely vile. I don't know how no one can like her. But that's the point. That's the character she's playing. So in that sense, she's doing a good job. But yeah, don't want to watch Io lose because yeah, got a bit of a soft spot for old Io. Anyway, that's not important. What is important is what's going to happen on this episode of Outrage. So people, can we get over 1,000 viewers, knowing that Saturday night's main event's going on? Let's see. We're going to kick things off not with a match, but it's going to be with an angle, and I don't know if I can book this or not yet. I may have to, but we'll see. So it's going to be another other angle. So it's going to be Stalker attacks without revealing. I don't think I can book this, but oh no, I can. That's fine. Right, okay. I don't know if you needed to pick the Stalker, even though it says without revealing, but thankfully you don't, so that's good. Okay, so it's going to be Eli Drake. So what would happen here? The show would start, Eli Drake's music would hit, he'd march to the ring, say, you know, I'm sick of this crap that's been going on these last few weeks, and blah, 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 blah. Whoever this guy is, come out now and, you know, face me like a man, or, you know, you get the idea. Nothing would happen. He'd then march backstage. The camera would obviously keep following him. He'd march backstage. He'd see the Stalker. He'd go to attack him. By the time he gets to where the Stalker is, the Stalker's gone, and then all of a sudden, he gets clobbered from behind, and then it's clearly the Stalker, and they run off. That's what would happen there. And then we would get the match that was booked. That was booked in the last show. The big tag team match between Real One, Enzo Amore in brackets, and Pac, taking on the team of Mark Haskins and the man who doesn't want to team with people, Chris Sabin. And they are going to get the win, so we'll have Real One can pin Sabin, why not? By interference, though, from Super Dragon. So, of course, Excalibur made the match. Super Dragon, who is, you know, in Enzo Amore's pocket, in Real One's pocket, I should say. Enzo Amore's in brackets. Let's not forget that. Then would come in and help his favourite employee. But we are building to something, although it's not going to be as epic as I would have liked because of the botched face turn. I don't know what went wrong there. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, we're going from that to an interview, and it's going to be an interview between a tag team that's not a tag team. But unfortunately, I could do with making them a stable, really. But anyway, it's going to be Zelina Vega and Paige. So they're basically going to say, I need to change Zelina Vega's gimmick. They're not going to say I need to change Zelina Vega's gimmick. They're just going to say, you know, we're back, we're here. I mean, you know, it would be with Diana as well. She'd obviously be there. But I haven't put them into a stable yet. I don't know if I'm going to do that. And not just, I mean, I might need to do it just to book some of the angles I want to book. But anyway, so they're basically just going to come out and say, we're back from injury and we're not going until the Stunning Succuban are taken down. Blah 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 blah. You get the idea. Just kind of hyping things. So we'll target Asuka and Io. So of course they were the two that were involved in that title match. Io been the champion, of course, and Asuka with the run-in. So it's a verbal attack, and then this is a bit of a random segment, but there is a point to it. It's going to be another angle. Yeah, two partners hanging out. They're not really partners. So it's going to be Barbie Hayden and Nicole Matthews. So they're just basically going to discuss, you know, about that. So Nicole will just say something like, "Oh, tough loss against Tenille. You know, you did well in that feud, but you know, keep grinding. Blah 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 blah. You know, I came up short when I faced Mia again, but I'm not giving in." And they just basically kind of pep each other up and say, you know, we're here for the long term. Our time will come. Something like that. I don't know. Something not lame. Next up, just a random match for no reason. Yeah, a lot of random stuff on this show. Maybe not one of my better efforts. So it's Kongo Kong taking on Kushida, just to get them on TV, basically. I feel like I've done this. I feel like if ever I'm not sure if I need a match, it's just I'll stick Kushida in a singles match. Especially now I've broken his tag team up. So sorry, Kushida. It was a bit like he's taken over from Octagon. It was Octagon, but now Octagon's gone into a tag team. It's now Kushida. Yeah, no purpose for that one. Right, this next segment may have been spoilt a little bit, but we'll go with it. So it's going to be a debut angle. So when I was booking something else, you may have seen a name that I didn't want you to see, but doesn't matter because they're going to debut here. So debut angle, and it's going to be the dueling microphones one. So when you work at it, it's interrupted another interview time. So there we go. So Taryn Terrell is going to be making her debut. So if you don't know who Taryn Terrell is, by interrupting Mia Yim. If you don't know who Taryn Terrell is, she was Tiffany in... Is it Tiffany she was called? In WWE. She was the EC... Whoever was that ECW... I think she was married to Drew McIntyre in real life. Yeah, so whoever was the ECW commissioner when it was rebooted, I think it was called Tiffany. But anyway, when she went to Impact, she became Taryn Terrell and had a really awesome feud with... A couple of really awesome matches and an awesome feud with... I think the whole feud was awesome. And a really good match that she had with Gail Kim. And she also formed a stable called the Dollhouse. And the Dollhouse was... I really liked it. I mean, a lot of people... I get the impression a lot of people don't, but I really liked the Dollhouse. And she was kind of the leader of it. And Mia Yim was in the Dollhouse. And she was called Jade at the time. And she was kind of doing Taryn... There was her and Marty Bell. I don't know what she was called. I can't remember her name, but anyway, they were doing sort of Taryn Terrell's bidding, essentially. So again, we're carrying on the story of Mia Yim issuing receipts, if you like, avenging old scores, whatever we want to call it. So Mia Yim, and that's what she'd be coming out and saying, I beat Shanna, I've beaten everybody, blah 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 blah. I want to go, I'm gonna get that belt off Io Shirai. I've exercised all my demons, and then Taryn Terrell come out and say, hey, you remember me? And then they cut like a little worky shooty type thing. I don't know if the Dollhouse are famous enough that would get a massive reaction, but hopefully some people would remember it. I don't know. So there, that's the feud going forward. Putting something in place there, which may or may not take place at Holiday. Ooh, what a tease. And we're going to move on now to another random match. Not the most... I wouldn't say coherent show, but a lot of random stuff on it. Anyway, it's Alexander Wolf and Killian Dane, the Totem Towers, and they're going to take on the Rock and Roll Express. I think this is the first time that I've booked these since they won that tag team number one contenders tournament. But they're going to lose here, so I'm going to keep the momentum going for the Totem Towers. No purpose for that, because I can't keep the momentum going for the Totem Towers. Right, next up, speaking of random tag teams, we've got a new tag team of Mick Foley and Orange Cassidy. I've not put them as a proper team. I may try and think of a name or come up with something. I wish I think of something. I would say Orange Cactus, but that doesn't quite work, does it? No, I don't know. Move on. But they're going to talk smack about the Barbarian and the Warlord, because that's going to be their first match as a tag team on the next episode of Warfare. So that's to hype the upcoming match. They're going to say, hey, Excalibur granted us permission to be a tag team, and he's made our first match against the former tag team champions. So they'll try and get across that the Powers of Pain are going to cause them a problem, but spoiler, they won't. Right, another random... There is lots of random stuff here. There's going to be manager motivates worker. So Catarina is going to try and motivate Asuka. So basically, this would be in response of the Zelina Vega Paige thing. I mean, I've picked Asuka, but it'd be the whole stunning sucker man, but I obviously can't pick that. So Catarina the Sturgeon Suckerman in the locker room. So Kairi, Asuka, and Io would be sat down, and Catarina would be pacing up and down and giving them a rah-rah speech, and then she'd drop in a few Japanese lines. And we just ticked over to 30 minutes, so I can't bang this out in half an hour. Let's try and stay under 40 minutes, which shouldn't be too difficult. It's 1 at 2 seconds. Yeah, so basically Catarina, just gives an old rah-rah speech to the Sturgeon Suckerman, saying, we need, and then, like I said, drops in some Japanese just to remind people that she can speak Japanese. Okay, and then this rivalry that's been brewing all year is going to start to reach boiling point. Two authority figures have an argument, so that is going to be Super Dragon and Excalibur. So they're going to argue about Excalibur putting Real One in the tag team match. Super Dragon is going to be annoyed at Excalibur hiring old wrestlers, if you like, hiring Great Sasuke, hiring Octagon, putting Foley and allowing Foley and Orange Cassidy to be in a tag team, and Super Dragon's favourable treatment of Real One and some more in brackets, and also going into matches and getting into fights and things like that. So they're gonna end up sort of arguing, but it won't. I think at this point, maybe not getting physical, but yeah, they'd like be a bit of pushing and shoving. And then last up, the final match of the night, and it's another tag team match player, because of course it is, and this is why I didn't suspend Bandido, and also why he beat Josh Barnett, because it's going to be Drew Gulak and Dominik Dijakovic taking on Bandido and Keith Lee. And the winners are going to be Drew Gulak is going to make Bandido tap out. So I'd want to try and start getting across that Drew Gulak has quite a lethal submission. So we'll make Bandido tap out cleanly, no aftermath, and of course that's just building Drew Gulak up as a credible challenger for Mr. Lee. Right, let's see what this slightly random episode of Outrage gets. No overness gain, but still a good segment. That's fine. Yeah, that was a good match. Crowd reaction sucked, but that's because of Haskins, of course. Yeah, that's fine. Good, that was the point of that segment, really. Good. Big man versus little man. Yeah, Taryn Terrell's got a new... So Taryn Terrell was a heel and had a heel's gimmick, so I've just changed it to a positive babyface gimmick. You know, Valley Girl, if anyone's interested. Cool, that was fine. That was fine. That was more than fine. Yeah. Nothing good. Good little tag team match to end. Well, considering how random that show was, it could have been worse. 73%, so we're consistently getting over 70 now, which is good, even with the dreadful overness of Mark Haskins. We're now on the 15th of December, so not long left now before the pay-per-view. I need to start actually announcing matches. I've kind of dropped hints as to what the match is going to be. I haven't really made them official, so I'll do my Adam Pearce impression. I'll start doing that very soon. Ooh. Some fire-ins and possibly higher-ins. Let's see. So Triple A believes Chris Dickinson, Puma King, and they've fallen to cult level. Well, there we go. 4.39. Again, 1,200 people. So clearly Saturday night's main event didn't deter people. And that got us out, and it's our highest rating. So that's also good. So the ratings are going... Well, that wasn't very good, was it? 2.1. What the hell happened there? 2.75. Anyway. Well, they're still happy with the ratings. Anyway, for the second time, that's good. That's the end of the video, I think. So there's nothing else to really do. Not many hirings and firings going on. 2 shows in the can. Starting the build to Holiday. I need to come up with a better name for Holiday, and I also need to change it as Lena Vega's gimmick, but that is all something that will be done before the next episode. So if you enjoyed this episode, then please like and share the video. You can also leave a comment on the video should you choose to do that. While you're on YouTube, if you head on over to the channel, The Uncommentator, you will find the rest of the videos in this playlist. You'll also find a myriad of other games that I have played through. If you like wrestling, then please go and check out my WWE Crush Hour playthrough. If you don't like wrestling, then why you're watching this video, but if that is the case, then there's plenty of other content on the channel that is non-wrestling related. We've got Pokemon, Streets of Rage, Star Fox, Extreme Express if you enjoy train racing, lots and lots of random stuff for you to enjoy. But Joe, next time we're going to be moving on to possibly a different game, just as a one-off video. I haven't quite got my upload schedule sorted out yet, but to that point, for now, from me, it is sayonara.